everyone. Stacy Portugal and Sandy Smith here. We are your dynamic coaching duo from Lifestyle Masterclass. Lifestyle Masterclass, as many of you may know, is a weekly group coaching. It's lifestyle oriented, and we meet every Sunday via conference call at 5 p.m. Central. So today we wanted to talk about the frustration you may feel if you are trying to achieve a goal, but not really getting the results that you deserve. So if that's you, give us a like. You can even comment, what goals are you working on? Sandy, I noticed that you put on Facebook sort of recently that this was like something like the milestone between people's New Year's resolutions and tell us more.
Yeah, it's interesting because this past week, Monday was considered Blue Monday, where so many people have realized I've already broken my New Year's resolution or my plans for this coming year. And well, okay, now what does that mean? And then it's, midwinter here in the Chicago area and the weather's crazy. Who knows what it's going to do? And so that can set a lot of people up for feeling depressed and not happy with themselves or happy with how things are going. And, so we talked about that in Lifestyle Masterclass Live last night and wanting to understand how do we move forward with that? How do we set up success for ourselves? And that's really feeds into what you and I wanted to talk to today with people here is what do you do when you've got that where you're struggling and you just can't get the traction to make stuff happen? What's going on?
Yeah, and I think typically we see this most in the world of wellness. We see this mostly concerned with diet and exercise. So probably the first thing, the first gap, the first reality check would be people typically overestimate the amount that they exercise and they underestimate the amount of food that they consume.
Right. Yeah, that's the classic gap that we see a lot. And it's uncovering it. You and I, as we were getting ready for this conversation, you were even talking about some patterns that you were discovering in your life that had to do with business and setting up your schedule. And we just don't realize the things that we're doing every day. We think we have awareness, and it's not really until we find a way to understand, whether it's measuring, whether it's weighing our food, whether it's journaling our actual, workouts, whether it's one of the reasons I wear a fitness monitor, right? To truly understand how many steps am I taking each day? What am I actually doing to move my body? Trying to close that gap.
Yeah, that's a point. So I think the idea of not consistent can certainly not give you the results that you desire. Like we were talking earlier, you could run miles and then be sedentary the rest of the day. That's really not going to get you towards your goal you have an otherwise very life.
Exactly. And yet you don't have that awareness because you feel like you got up and you ran. So why is that not enough? And so building that consistency, building that awareness and understanding what you're doing. And you might be doing the exact same thing that your girlfriend is doing and she's having great success, but her body is different than yours, right? So you have to understand that and then accommodate your body and your body's needs and your body's changes. Because what you may be doing, for instance, what you did 20 years ago that worked for you, but it's no longer working as your body is changing and aging. We know that.
You said something that I think you bring up is not being realistic about what you're actually doing when it comes to weight goals. So are you tracking? Are you being accountable to somebody?
Right.
A tracker, a person, a group. Are you weighing and measuring?
Right.
And also, I think the idea that success usually means that it's a series of small steps. So what do your small steps look like, and how consistent are you with those?
Yeah, exactly. How much progress are you expecting? Are you realistic with what you want to achieve and what you are willing to achieve each week? I can be all gung-ho, and we've both seen this when we coach with clients and they get off the call and they're all gung-ho, but how do we maintain that through the week so they can stay consistent and find success instead of inconsistency and find maintenance?
Yeah, consistency comes with motivation. They go hand in hand.
Right. One of the other big reality gaps that I see a lot, and I think you probably do too, is clients that choose inappropriate exercises. And again, that can go with, well, I've always done this, but the question is, what is it getting you now? Is it working for you? And if it's not, then let's take a look at how can we change that. For instance, women that are over their 40s or their 50s may be losing muscle mass, and yet they're cardio bunnies and they're not doing anything to maintain that muscle mass or that bone density. And you and I both know that muscles just sitting still are going to burn more energy than fat will, right? And so
your metabolism humming as we're aging.
Right. You want to keep the metabolism humming. You want to avoid that visceral fat around the waist that then starts to secrete lots of hormones. You want to avoid that constant cortisol always being pumped into your system, which too much cardio can do. So, and that's really hard when you've got a client that is used to this really lot of cardio in their life, saying, you know what, I actually think you need to step back a little bit and let's try some strength training. And you watch them go pale because they're afraid if they step back. Exactly.
The idea that sometimes people just little and they can't get to their goal because their metabolism is just shot. Because they're eating too little, and what happens is your metabolism actually adjusts to that smaller amount of food, and then all of a sudden you start, you find yourself having to go lower and lower to lose weight, but what really happens is your metabolism is not healthy, and it's just adjusting to a lower level of food, and then that's just frustrating.
Right. So we've presented a lot of scenarios here where we might have potential clients or clients that are frustrated. Mm-hmm. And you and I have a workshop coming up this weekend that we want to talk about, our Lifestyle Masterclass Live. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So it's called Turn Your Weight Loss Wishes into Goal Achieving Wins. And it's a mouthful for sure, but the bottom line is, there's a big gap between what we want and what we actually are doing to achieve that goal.
Right.
And so what we're going to do on Sunday, we're going to stand at Mirror Ride. And there's an event on this page, so people go check out the details. It's Sunday at 10 a.m. But we're going to really help people gain clarity on their goal. We're going to strategize ways of really specific steps to getting to that goal, but also we're going to talk about what stands out.
Right. And then really pointing out that workshop is going to be very action-oriented and goal-oriented. So not just talking about what we want to do, but how do you bring that to fruition so that you can actually enjoy a life that is going to get you where you want to be instead of spinning your wheels and feeling like you're not getting anything done. So building that traction, building that success. So.
And I like to get best of all, it's free.
Yeah. Free is always good, right? Free is good. So we're hoping that folks can join us at Lifestyle Masterclass Live, get to know us. And anything else I've forgotten that we should include here?
No, I'll give a quick summary of what possible gaps might be between the hard work you feel you're putting in and the lack of results. You may not be realistic about what you're eating, drinking, etc. So we always suggest, whenever possible, weigh, measure, track, and stay accountable that way. If you're not being consistent day to day, if you're overestimating exercise and you're underestimating movement, if you're just kind of, another thing is take a hard look at macros, make sure your macros are balanced and appropriate for your age and your metabolism. Consider the effects of medication on your body. Don't be like a cardio bunny and not really, if you have the goal of weight loss, it's not just about cardio. So take a harder look at what you're doing to achieve that goal and get the advice from a qualified practitioner for sure. Also, eating too little can cause a gap, so you need to make sure you're healing your metabolism and adjusting your expectations so that you know what's a realistic amount of weight to lose in a realistic amount of time.
Right. And I think the bottom line is don't lose heart.
Yeah.
We both talk to clients that think, I guess this is just it. This is the way my body will be. And it doesn't have to be that way. If you are motivated to make a change, then we can help you examine what's going on, find those reality gaps, right? Because the body is a tough banker. And so we can identify those gaps and then help you build a plan that will get you through those gaps and get you where you want to be.
People really underestimate the role of behavior in reaching a goal.
Right.
So, and that's all the stuff that we address in Lifestyle Masterclass.
Exactly.
All right. So we hope to see people on Sunday. And thank you all so much for listening to Sandy and I. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.
Bye-bye.